It all started with a video that spread across the internet like wildfire. A woman, dressed in plain travel clothes, was standing in the middle of an airport terminal. Her face pale, her hands shaking, her eyes darting around like she was being hunted. Passengers around her looked confused, some pulling out their phones, others whispering nervously. Suddenly, she shouted words that made everyone freeze. "That man is not real." Her voice cracked, her eyes widened, and she pointed toward the back of the plane she had just stormed off of. Airport security rushed forward, but before they could calm her down, she turned and bolted out of the boarding gate area, leaving behind luggage, passengers, and an entire plane grounded in chaos. Cameras caught every second, and the video went viral under one name, the Torenza woman. But the real question was, who was she and what exactly happened that day? Was it fear, a breakdown, or something more sinister? To answer that, we have to rewind the story. Hours before her outburst, she had gone through the usual routine of every traveler. Security check, ID scan, and boarding pass. But multiple witnesses later claimed that something about her behavior seemed off. Some said she kept glancing over her shoulder. Others insisted she was arguing with someone no one else could see. The security footage shows her walking nervously through the concourse, clutching her phone tight to her chest. At one point, she stopped dead in front of a duty-free shop, stared at a reflection in the glass, and whispered something to herself before hurrying away. Nothing extreme yet, just a woman acting strange in a crowded airport. That changed once she stepped onto the plane. Passengers remembered how she kept scanning the cabin, almost as if she was checking each face carefully. She switched seats twice before takeoff, muttering under her breath. Some thought she was just scared of flying, others thought maybe she had taken medication that made her jittery. Then came the turning point, the moment that would explode into a viral sensation. She stood up suddenly, her hands trembling, and started shouting that the man she was sitting next to was not real. Passengers gasped, flight attendants tried to calm her, and in the middle of the confusion, someone's phone camera began recording. The clip that spread worldwide came from those few chaotic seconds. Her voice echoed through the cabin as she pointed and repeated her warning. The tension rose so quickly that some passengers thought it was the beginning of a hijacking or a security threat. The crew had no choice. They stopped the plane, opened the doors, and let her storm off. And just like that, the flight was delayed, the passengers were terrified, and the mysterious woman vanished into the airport's maze of gates and terminals. Her face was everywhere, but her identity was hidden. Who was the Torenza woman, and what, or who, did she really see on that plane? Before we go deeper, we need to look at the footage itself and the early theories that flooded the internet. Some said she was under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Others believed she might have suffered a sudden mental breakdown. But the most chilling theory, the one that made this video go viral, was the possibility that she really did see something that the rest of us couldn't. That's when the fact-checking began. And the more people looked into the story, the stranger it became. After her outburst, the woman's video spread across every corner of the internet. Social media platforms labeled her the Torenza woman because of the flight number and airport codes being shared online. Memes were made, conspiracy theories grew, and hashtags trended. But as the frenzy online built into wild speculation, investigators and journalists stepped in to fact-check what really happened. Airport security reports show that the woman was not arrested, but she was briefly detained for questioning. Staff confirmed she cleared security earlier that day, and her ID matched a real person. She wasn't a ghost, she wasn't using a fake name, and she wasn't on any wanted list. But her refusal to give any statement about why she panicked left officials with more questions than answers. In the days after the incident, several passengers from that grounded flight came forward. One said she looked like she was in tears before standing up. Another insisted she argued with the man sitting next to her, but when asked to describe him, none of the passengers gave the same details. Some remembered an older man, others said he was middle-aged, while a few swore the seat was empty. The contradictions only fueled the mystery. Was her fear based on something real, or was it all in her mind? The less extreme explanation came first: mental health. Experts explained that airports are high-stress environments. Anxiety attacks can trigger paranoia, even hallucinations, especially if someone hasn't slept, taken medication, or mixed alcohol with pills. Psychologists who analyzed her body language in the video said it was consistent with a severe panic attack. But then came the turning point, the chilling twist that kept the story alive. Investigators discovered that no one could find the man she pointed at. Passenger lists and seat assignments showed no irregularities, but the seat she accused was changed multiple times before takeoff. Even worse, Several witnesses later admitted they couldn't remember seeing anyone get off that seat when the plane was evacuated. The man seemed to vanish from record as if he had never been there. For days, internet detectives claimed this was proof of something bigger, government cover-ups, shapeshifters, or shadowy figures. But fact-checkers kept digging. Airline officials finally released a statement. The man sitting next to her had indeed been on the flight, but he quietly rebooked onto another plane after the delay. His name was never revealed publicly for privacy reasons. The truth was less dramatic but still unsettling. What the Torenza woman saw may have been real, but distorted through stress and fear. Maybe she convinced herself he wasn't human. Maybe he said or did something that triggered her panic. Or maybe it was just coincidence, and the lack of clear details turned a normal breakdown into a viral urban legend. And in the end, the fact check closed most of the gaps. The woman wasn't possessed, abducted, or imagining people that didn't exist. She was a traveler who had a very real breakdown inside one of the most stressful places in America, an airport. The man she feared was real but ordinary. The flight she disrupted eventually took off hours later. And she herself? She disappeared back into her private life, never giving a public statement, never confirming or denying the theories. The truth about the Torenza woman isn't supernatural. It's a reminder that in the age of smartphones, a few seconds of panic can turn into global mystery. And sometimes the scariest story isn't about what we see, it's about how easily we can misinterpret it.